The door handles you bought for your Tri-5 Chevy hold some secrets, and today we're going to talk about it here in the Shade Tree Garage. Welcome back to the channel. All right, how many of you have replaced or are going to replace door handles that look like this? It's got the metallic version of Acme, I think. Looks pretty rough, doesn't it? Not the pretty smooth handle that it was originally, but it is 70 years old. And I'm not 70, but not far from it. And yeah, I guess I look a little rougher now than I did 60 years ago. While I'm finishing up this passenger side door glass, and I thought, well, it's a great time to change out the door handle. Just easier, less things in the way, right? All right, so I opened the box. Now I've only owned my 55 wagon about 90 days now, and actually I started buying parts for it well in advance of bringing it home. Of course, the door handle, it's a real simple affair. You know that. You press the button and it squeaks. No, it shouldn't, but you see what it does. The rod here, when you press the button in, it goes out and it actuates a kind of a lever that's in the door latch and opens the latch. Simple, right? So I got my new one out of the box. I will tell you that the latch can be deceptively simple. You think you're just going to pop it in, tighten the screws, and you're done. Well, this screw hole, where is it? This screw hole right here, you don't have a straight shot with your screwdriver in from the outside of the door. It has to come up at an angle. And so you're going in the door from about a 30-degree angle, and you've got to get this Phillips head screw in and get it tight, right? Sometimes it's easier said than done. Now, the irony here is that I was able to get I tried with the brand new Phillips screws that came with the new door handle. And I couldn't get the damn screw even started. And so I thought, well, at a last-ditch effort, I took the original screw that was laying in the floorboard of the car and got it, and it started and went right in, just like a piece of cake. And I'm not sure, maybe it's just the way the shoulder of the screw is, it made it easier to start than the replacement in the modern one. I don't know, but that was kind of ironic. Now, so I get the new door handle on and close the door, slam it shut, and hit the button, push that button, and nothing happens. Push it again. And I don't know why, but when something doesn't happen right, we want to push it 2 or 3 times. So it still doesn't work. Well, what's wrong? The problem on the door handle was this rod that extends was too short. The new one was half the length of this original. And I'm like, what? What is going on? Now, I wasn't aware. And of course, the last time I've messed with Tri-5 door handles was 40 plus years ago when I bought a new set for my 55 two-door hardtop. And I'm not sure there were short and long versions of the door handle available then. And I really wasn't aware of it now, to be honest. I just knew that this rod was not actuating the door latch as it should. I could send the new ones back and exchange them, but I'm operating under a time constraint. I didn't want to ship it back and then get the new ones. I didn't want to go through all that. And I thought about just buying the correct pair of door handles, but no, I'm just too much of a use what you got guy. I decided, well, I'm going to extend this. Now, it's just a straight rod, that sticks out, and I'm going to extend it. I was trying to figure out a way to extend the push rod on I ended up going to the hardware store and getting an inch of copper pipe, and I crimped this end so it would be a fairly snug fit on the original rod. And then I used a little JB Weld clear epoxy to make it solid, and it is solid. However, also some of the epoxy got on the business end down here, and it epoxied the rod stuck. So that's not going to be won't be real difficult to break loose. Now that was my first idea, was to just extend the rod, and I'll cut off the extra. This is a little longer than it needs to be, and then put it in. I decided that I was going to take apart the other door handle because it looked like it. Let's see, give you a good look in there. There's a big spring in here for the springiness of the button, and this whole plate that's in this housing is spring loaded. It looked, the way it's built. Let me show you the underside here. Where this notch is, you can see that the housing, this handle housing, has tabs that help hold the center piece in. So I thought, well, if I bend these out a little bit, the guts of this thing should just fall right out. And that's exactly what they did. I just had to bend them just a little bit to get this whole plate loose, and then I could take a good look at the button. All right, now with this plate removed and the spring out of there, you can see that the button. Let's pull the button out. Here's the button that you push with your thumb or whatever, and here's the original too short rod. Well, lo and behold, this rod screws in. It screws in, and yeah, there you go. There's the button, and there's the push rod, and it is a 4mm thread. I thought, well, here's what I decided, and it was like 4:35 in the afternoon, and the hardware store closes at 5. So I'm making a mad dash from my house, which is 7 miles out of town, to the hardware store, hoping they'll be open. So anyway, to replace this with the longer rod, I just got I think this is a 3.5 or 4-inch 4mm threaded screw. My plan is simply to screw the screw basically in the button, and then I will cut off the end to shorten it a little bit. It's a little bit long, and I wanted it long. It's easier, I can't make it longer. I can cut it off and make it shorter. So anyway, this will go back together along with the spring and this plate, and I'll reassemble it and have plenty of rod so the door will open normally. Who knew that the push rod on these on the door handle buttons were unscrewed, and you could with the longer one, or I guess if you have a Tri-5 that needs a shorter one, you can replace it with the proper size screw. I never knew this. Of course, like I said, 40 years ago, I had the door handle, and I'm not sure they came in different flavors of push rod. I didn't know it if they did. So anyway, this is news to me. Now, those of you out there may be rolling their eyes and thinking, God, what a rookie. He didn't know that, just basic information. Well, no, I didn't know that. I thought all the handles were the same. In fact, some vendors will have them on the same, and if the picture's correct, you can see what you're getting, and if it's a long or short push rod. Otherwise, it's kind of left to luck which one you get. Once I get it reassembled, I can actually install it in the car to stay this time. All right, guys. Here is the modified door handle with my 4mm screw inserted. Now, this was the handle I'd taken apart. It's the driver's side. Now, I had to. There's on this bottom here. There's the lip that actually holds this in. This whole plate is spring loaded, and so I put it all back together the first time, and then took out the original threaded rod. And when I did, the spring went haywire. The spring got crosswise in here, and I could not thread this screw down through the spring. I had to take it all back apart, make sure I had the screw down, and clamped all this back together with the screw already in it. And so now, comparing it to the original, it is just about the right length as it is. It might be a little bit long. Now on the other one, this is the one I modified with the piece of copper tubing. It works fine. I'm really hesitant to take it apart just to put the other screw in there, because this is solid. I mean, it looks ugly, but it's going to work. It's the right length, and so now this is the passenger side. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in now. And now the only problem I see using the threaded screw is, now I understand why. Let me find this threaded rod. Now I understand why the threads don't go all the way up and down. It's because when you press the button, you can hear the threads. A little bit noisy. So before I put the driver's side handle on, I am probably going to take a file and file the threads off some of that shaft, so it's not so noisy. All right, well, let's see. I've got to get this thing on, and that part will be done. I'm also hoping to get the door glass installed, so we'll keep you updated on that.